I'm here to talk to you about congressional committees, the topic of my new book, Inside Congressional Committees, and something that I'm sure that all of you will be interacting with a lot during your internship. And so I'm going to try to really impart as much knowledge about committees as I can in just a few minutes, hopefully to get you started on your way in interacting with them over the summer. And so I'll talk a little bit about what committees are, why they matter, and how they work. And I'll start with why they matter. Why do they matter so much that I would write a whole book about them? Well, Congress is a huge organization, and it has a million different things to do, as you'll soon see yourself. And so it needs to delegate, and it does that through committees. Committees are really sub-organizations of Congress that allow it to do its job. And they're also where bills take shape, as you'll soon see. Another important reason that committees matter is because they are a bipartisan space and an increasingly partisan Congress. You've already heard from other speakers about the importance of bipartisanship. Members do not have many opportunities to interact with each other, period, in today's Congress. And committees are a place where they come together on a regular basis for hearings and other work. And so they matter for that reason. Committees, as I'll explain, are also a place where some learning and some specialization and even deliberation can happen in certain circumstances. And importantly, they are a public setting. So the fact that they're public leads to some of the theatricality that we all see on television in committees, but they're also a space where everyday Americans can come and share their perspectives on an issue by testifying, and where the public can see what Congress is doing and what matters to members. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the key players before jumping into what hearings look like. So who are the key players in committees? Well, first of all, there's the chair. The chair is a member of the majority party. The chair really has tremendous power in committees, as you will soon see. The chair has 2/3 of the budget that they can use to hire the majority party staff. The chair really also has control over the committee's agenda. They get to decide what hearings the committee will hold and where it will direct its attention. And they also get to shape what witnesses come to testify before that committee. The majority can invite the majority of the witnesses. The minority is only entitled under official rules to one witness in each hearing, though this may vary in different hearings, and I talk about this in the book. But the majority party leader in the committee, the chair, really has a lot of power. Then there is the ranking member representing the minority party. The ranking member has 1/3 of the budget with which to hire the minority staff. They get to guide the selection of the minority witness. And then there is the staff. And my book really highlights in all of my research that staff are the backbone of the legislative process, and that includes you now as well. In the context of committees, committee staff are the ones who go out and identify witnesses and set up hearings and prepare members and really implement and execute all of the work of committees. And there's the personal staff who you'll see sitting in hearings and taking notes for members, and really being in hearings. A lot of the time members have to come in and out. They don't catch everything, and they're very, very busy, and so personal staff are there taking notes, and so that is tremendously important. There's also lobbyists, and you'll see that lobbyists will frequently send questions to members, suggested questions. They might suggest to the committee staff some witnesses. In some instances, lobbyists are the witnesses themselves, or they prepare witnesses to testify, and they're really there providing information throughout. And there's also different kinds of witnesses. So as I talk about in the book, there's different kinds of witnesses who you'll see testify before committees. There's people who are labeled by virtue of their affiliation with a certain party or partisan cause. There's people who are just there as unlabeled technical experts. There's people who come to share their lived experience and tell their personal story. There's people who are spokespeople for different causes. All these different kinds of people, you can see them in committees. And what do committee hearings look like, which you'll see, and I hope you'll take advantage really of the chance to attend as many hearings as possible. Well, traditionally, there's not a lot of variation. You'll see very soon that there is 5 minutes for the chair and the ranking member, 5 minutes for each member, member, 5 minutes for the witnesses. But there's also a lot of different kinds of hearings that you might see, and I'd encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity to learn about hearings that happen outside of Congress, field hearings. During COVID, there were digital hearings. There's what I call informal hearings, which are kind of roundtables and briefings and other chances to get to know different things about a specific policy issue. And what I talk about in the book is the different kinds of tendencies that hearings can have. They can tend towards the more theatrical. That's what we're kind of most familiar with on TV. They can be deliberative, they can be educational, they can be a space for personal connection. And I don't have a lot of time. I'm already over time now, I think, so I'm not going to get into all the different things that create hearing variation, but I'd encourage you to think about that when you attend hearings. We only see a very small subset of them on television, and now is your chance to look at all the different things that hearings can be in committees. And these are some quotes from members from the book that, again, I don't really have time to go through now, that just tell you how members see hearings. These are all quotes from members of Congress and senators about how they use hearings. They can use them as an opportunity to learn. They can use them as an opportunity to make a point, as one of the members says. And again, I don't have time to go through this example at this point, but I'd encourage you to take a look at the book if you're interested. But I tell the story of a really famous friendship between Barack Obama and Dick Lugar that originated in, you guessed it, a committee. Their joint membership in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee is where members can really form connections, and they see that value as well. And I will end just by saying that Congress is shaped by the people who walk its halls. That's a key point of the book, and that's a key point about committees. Committees have been shaped and reshaped throughout congressional history by folks like you who are working on them and around them, and that is why I think it matters so much that you're here this summer and that you will have the opportunity to be interacting with committees in this way and be a part of the legislative process. So thank you.